Happy New Year, everybody. This is the top 10 things that I learned in 2025. In no particular order, although the last one is definitely the most substantial. First one is, I don't love vlogging. And it's not because I don't think it's a valuable form of expression. I'm just not very good at being consistent about it. When I tend to get involved into a project, I get really obsessed. The problem is, when I started vlogging, I tried it sort of the back half of the year. It really started to consume me in a way that I found myself not necessarily enjoying the moments that I was capturing because I was focused on trying to capture the right angle, the right moment, and going, how am I going to cut all this together and how's it going to make a video that's interesting? And then I spent way too much time editing it. And I realized over the last month, sort of taking a break from everything, I was like, you know what? This is not for me. Some people are incredible at it and just remarkable storytellers through that specific medium. I don't think it's for me. Now, when I have a project to document, when I have a show I'm in or, a thing that I can share, I'm all about it and I will continue to do that. But I'm going to give myself the freedom to not necessarily vlog anymore and instead really focus on actually capturing moments much more intentionally, but more about that later. Number 2, consuming without reflecting doesn't make me a better storyteller or artist. I have been on a mission, especially last year, to rekindle my creativity. And part of that involves just watching stuff and reading new things. And the problem is, as I was really on a, path to just inputting as much as possible, I realized things were starting to blur together. I was watching a bunch of movies and then I would literally forget about them. I'd forget to log them. I'd forget to write about them in my own sort of notes. And then at the end of the year, as I was putting together my lists of what did I watch, what really moved me, what stuck with me, I realized there was a bunch of stuff that I saw that I just couldn't really remember much about how I felt about it. So my takeaway from that is I want to be more intentional with how I reflect on the media that I consume, which means making a practice of actually sitting down after I watch something. Doesn't have to be immediate, but within the, following hours or that day, make a literal note to myself of what I thought about the thing. It could be a review that I post on Letterboxd, maybe. It's less about making content and more for me just going, what did you feel? What did you think? What moved you? What affected you? Did it work for you? Did it not? If not, why? I started doing this in the last few weeks and my sense of recall over what I've watched is so much clearer when I give myself a little bit of space to actually process what I'm taking in. So it's not just about inputting more in, it's about being more intentional and reflecting on what did that actually mean to me. Number 3, my body wasn't broken, I was just burned out. Years of chronic overwork and bad sleep and unhealthy habits that were disguised as momentum all came to a head in 2025. And I really had to take a hard look at myself in the mirror and ask myself if this trajectory that I was on physically, mentally, emotionally was sustainable. And the answer was no. And so I really had to take some time to make some pretty substantial changes in my life that were uncomfortable, especially initially, because it forced me to stop that momentum. It forced me to slow down. And I am not used to slowing down. I'm somebody who likes to go. And so being forced to slow down and take stock of what am I not taking care of? And a big part of that was sleep and physical health. And I completely overhauled my relationship with those two things last year. And I'm really happy to say that I feel truly the best that I have felt in a decade. I feel the sharpest, I feel the strongest, and just the background sort of emotional state of things. Yes, I still get frustrated. Yes, things happen that make me angry and disappoint me, whatever. But I've just noticed, even in my day-to-day interactions, I have so much more joy and energy for joy. I mean, today I was at the store and I was checking out and I just had this lovely conversation with somebody who I have seen at this store many times. And I typically in the last year, just kind of, hey, how's it going? And I was like, how are you? And we chatted and I was just filled with this satisfaction of that was a lovely moment. And I can only attribute it to the fact that I have been prioritizing taking care of my health and sleep in a profound way that I am only beginning to see the investment start to pay off in the way that I just feel better. It's not even something I'm extremely aware of moment to moment, but it's just a sense at the end of the day of like, wow, I really got to that day feeling like I was present and I was aware of what I was doing, and the things that I'm doing that I'm proud of feel really good, and the things that are hard and challenging are still hard and challenging, but I'm motivated to figure out a way to overcome them. So fixing those core aspects completely changed my life, and it's made me really excited to take those same principles and apply them to my creative workflow and my creative process in this new year. Number 4, consistency beats inspiration every single time. This is the unsexy stuff. This is in tandem with number 3, but that's like going to bed on time, getting proper sleep, writing the pages, getting the edit done even when you're not necessarily feeling like doing it, spending an extra hour memorizing my lines before an audition that I'm going to film the next day just so that I really have it in my bones, lifting weights, eating better food, going for long walks. Like, this is the stuff that it's not particularly sexy. There's no magic moment where you're like, oh, I want to do this. It's just about doing the things that you know are going to add up to something good before you can even see the effects of them. And doing that consistently over the last 6 months, and there's many things that I need to do better, but just being consistent in some of those small things, I'm beginning to see those investments pay off in such a major way. And it makes me really excited to do more of the small things. And it's actually invigorated me on other projects and other things that I have coming up where I'm like, you know what? Maybe this thing that I have to do right now isn't the thing that is most interesting, but I know because of the experience of the last 12 months, I know if I just attack these small little things, it's going to pay off. So, man, consistency beats the inspiration every single time. Number 5, saying yes to everything is actually a version of self-abandonment. What do I mean by that? Trying to be present for every single thing that could possibly happen in your life, every single opportunity, every single potential outlet that you could go. You might feel like you're showing up in a big way and you're creating momentum for yourself, but in being so busy that you lose track of who you are, you actually kind of abandon yourself a bit, and you find yourself feeling very isolated, and your inner voice, that voice that's kind of been left in the dark going, hey, you're not taking care of the basics, begins to make itself known as you get busier and busier. That gnawing kind of burnout inner voice that's going, we got to slow down, we got to stop. It gets louder and louder, and then eventually it slams on the brakes. I had to start saying no to remember who I really was. I think over the past decade, I've been so desperate to try to be the artist and be the creator that I thought other people would want me to be, that I forgot what I actually wanted to do and I was most passionate about. So saying no to things is actually many times saying yes to yourself, so that you clear and make space to say yes to the stuff that you truly, genuinely care about. Number 6, photography has made me feel much more present and intentional with the way I look at the world. The past year, I've really been on a mission to become a better photographer. I'm not trying to become a professional photographer per se, but all the great filmmakers that I really love and admire talk so much about the power of the singular image, the power of a story told with one frame. And I figured if I could get better at becoming a photographer and telling stories and capturing moments with one singular image, that is only going to help me as an actor hold the frame and play a moment that is full and rich of character, whether I have dialogue or not. It's going to help me as a filmmaker think about composition. It's going to help me as a writer think about not having to always fill the silence with words, but fill it with images. So I've been on a mission to just get better at photography, and I've really loved it. It's not necessarily been something that I can monetize or turn into content per se, but I've just enjoyed doing it for me, and it's really helped me to start to view the world around me in a really intentional kind of way. And I just love it. And I would love to figure out ways to share it more, but again, it's not about creating content or trying to just necessarily output more. But I have really enjoyed cultivating that skill, and I have a lot to learn. I have so much to learn. I feel like I'm just scratching scratching the surface, but it's just something I'm really enjoying, and it's really shaping how I go about my work as an actor and as a filmmaker and as a writer. Number 7, sleep isn't optional. It's an absolute cornerstone. It is the foundation. I know I already talked about this a bit earlier, but I just want to emphasize it and highlight it as its own thing. My relationship to sleep has always been one that has been mired with disdain. I have always felt like sleep got in the way of the things that I wanted to do. And I've always been able to run like really, really long into the night. I just hardwired that way. Maybe it's because I did theater growing up. I don't know. I've always been able to stay up extraordinarily late. If I don't watch it, I can just kind of stay up till like 5 a.m. That's just how my body works. And I've been able to, for most of my life, operate without getting enough sleep into the next day. And I still can. I actually am pretty effective at it. But being effective and being able to do it does not mean that it's healthy. And so I, for years, have been like, well, I don't actually need that much sleep because I'm functioning. I just, in understanding biology better and understanding my own body, I really decided to listen to the advice that every expert says you should do, which is sleep. It's everything. It is the beginning of health. And I was like, you know what? I'm not feeling great. I'm feeling burned out. I'm feeling tired. Maybe I'll give this sleep thing a try. And surprise, Captain Obvious moment, but they were all right. Not only were they right, it's like what I realized was, yes, I can function without sleep. And yes, I can do things without sleep that a lot of people would be like, wow, how are you awake? How are you still functioning? But I was at 50% of capacity, because when I actually started getting good sleep, it's like I went, oh my gosh, I've been running on half empty batteries for the last 10 years. Are you kidding me? I feel so much more present and alert in my life. And so, you know, it's so silly because it feels so obvious, but it took me a while to learn it. And I'll say it was one of the biggest changes of my life. My sleep is still not perfect. You know, some nights I don't get exactly the right amount of sleep and I still go to bed pretty late. But I have started to try to make it a non-negotiable in my life, meaning like I won't do something early in the morning if I can't get to bed earlier. You know, I will set appointments to make sure that I can still hit my sleep goals. And I will try to sacrifice some of those late night, you know, maybe it's like, oh, I want to watch a movie right now, or, oh, I want to play a game, or, oh, I want to like write, but I go, you know what, that can happen tomorrow, because if I sacrifice the sleep now to try to do this thing in the moment, it will rob me of a good day tomorrow. And the good day tomorrow is much better than this 30 minutes, hour, 2 hours of like whatever thing I want to indulge in that moment. So sleep, man, it's great. Number 8, I'm not chasing trends. I'm not chasing virality. I'm chasing something authentic and something honest and trying to make work that I like. 2025 really killed the part of me that wanted to or thought I should want to be a content creator online. Now, I say that ironically here on YouTube, but I've really been able to let go of this notion of like, oh, I got to figure out what the people want me to do on the internet. And I've just started kind of sharing like what I'm actually interested in and going, you know, the things that I'm interested in are real specific. They're real niche. They're real nerdy. I love talking about creativity. I love talking about movies. I love talking about acting. And I love talking about the creative process. And not a lot of people who follow me necessarily want to hear about those things. And I'm okay with that. And so I'm kind of letting go of trying to be what I thought people wanted for years. You know, I love comedy. but I love it in the context of creating a character. I'm not the person who's going to get on TikTok and make funny videos anymore. I'm not the person who's going to do like viral trends. I just like don't want to. I want to talk about the stuff that moves me, that excites me, that keeps me up at night. And so I've just decided to kind of go in on that. And does that mean less views and less interaction? And maybe a bunch of people who followed me because they thought I was one thing are not interested? Sure. But I'm hoping that my passion and like that honesty finds the right people and resonates with the right people. And I'm just doubling down on like being myself and going all in on the things that I really care about. Number 9 is I'm not done yet. I had some moments in 2025 where I really felt like I think I've lost my spark. I think I've lost the fuel and the fire that was pushing me to continue to try to do difficult, challenging, and interesting things creatively, whether it's, with my career or with more just doing interesting work for myself. I felt that love, that passion, that joy that has been a constant in my life for a long time really fizzle out. And what I realized was the fire wasn't dead. I just needed a new fuel source. And so that's been the biggest sort of takeaway from last year in terms of reorienting what the fuel source is and what is driving me. And the biggest thing I will say is I'm not done. I found a new fuel source. I found new, more sustainable means of producing the energy that I need to continue going. And that gives me the confidence and hope that I'm not done. And that leads me into number 10, which is I'm actually more excited than ever for this, for creativity, for storytelling. It has kind of recaptured my imagination. It's recaptured my soul, my heart. I feel more excited and I feel like there's more potential than ever, which I know is kind of ironic because I feel like in many ways the world is so dark and so bleak and so many bad things are happening. But in some ways, I feel all the more motivated and inspired to be that's why we got to tell stories. That's why we got to use these platforms and use our voices and create community and create characters that give people hope and joy and catharsis. That is my job. That is the calling that I have on this planet in this lifetime. And I feel, for whatever reason, more excited and more alive about it than I have in such a very long time. And I don't actually know how it's going to manifest. I don't know what projects or what things are going to come about this year. I just have a really good feeling. I just believe things are possible. I believe that artists, and especially the creator community that I get to be a part of here in LA, I think our best work is yet to come. I'm so excited about creating new stories with people. I'm so passionate and giddy about the fact that we get to keep trying to do things. I just can't wait. So I did not feel that way last year. Last year, I felt a profound cynicism going into the new year. And I can really say that here in this new season, in 2026, I feel the most excited and the most optimistic about getting to do this. What a privilege, what a gift to get to endeavor to be an artist and to create art and to create stories and call that your life. Man, I'm so excited for it, and I cannot wait to share that process and that journey with you all. So thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. I'm excited to keep making videos here on this channel this year. So if you're into them, please subscribe. Comment, let me know what kind of stuff you'd like to see me talk about. I'm planning on continuing to talk about the creative process, document the projects that I'm working on when I can share about them, and just share the passion and the joy of creativity and storytelling with you all. I really appreciate it. Happy New Year.